Good morning. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed that your body doesn't seem to respond the way it did just a decade ago? If you're a man over 50 and you've quietly started seeing changes in your energy, stamina, or intimate health, I want you to know you're certainly not the only one. Here's something fascinating that many of my patients are surprised to learn. Millions of men begin every morning with a cup of coffee. Yet very few realize that this familiar daily ritual can become much more than a simple source of caffeine. With a handful of inexpensive ingredients that you probably already have sitting in your kitchen, that same morning coffee can become a simple way to support healthier circulation, maintain steady energy, and encourage the natural physical performance that often begins to decline with age. My name is Dr. Laura, and I've spent years working as a men's health specialist, helping men over 50 improve their vitality, regain confidence, and support their long-term health through practical, science-informed lifestyle strategies. Today I'd like to show you a simple morning routine that transforms an ordinary cup of coffee into something that works with your body instead of simply waking you up. This isn't about expensive supplements or miracle powders that promise impossible results. It isn't about complicated gadgets or trendy health hacks either. Instead, we're going to focus on a few well-known ingredients that support your body's natural systems and can easily become part of a sustainable daily routine. Before we get started, I'd like to ask one small favor. If you enjoy practical health advice designed specifically for men over 50, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment letting me know where you're watching from, and subscribe with notifications turned on. It helps this channel reach more men who are looking for reliable information without exaggerated claims, and it ensures you won't miss future videos focused on healthy aging, vitality, and men's wellness. Now let's talk about one of the biggest misconceptions I hear in my clinic. When men begin noticing changes in their morning performance after 50, the first thing many assume is that testosterone is entirely to blame. While hormones certainly matter, they're often only one piece of a much larger picture. One of the most important factors is circulation. As we grow older, the small blood vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients throughout the body gradually become less flexible. Little by little, they narrow and lose some of their ability to expand efficiently. When that happens, blood simply doesn't move as freely as it once did. Your morning coffee can certainly make you feel more awake because caffeine stimulates your nervous system. But that temporary boost doesn't address what's happening underneath. It increases alertness for a short period, while the real issue often remains unchanged. I like to compare it to repainting a house that has structural damage underneath. From a distance, everything may appear improved, but the foundation still needs attention. That's why lasting improvements usually come from supporting the body's underlying systems instead of depending on temporary stimulation. What your body truly benefits from is better nutritional support, ingredients that help maintain healthy blood vessels, encourage efficient circulation, support normal hormone function, and provide more stable energy throughout the day instead of a quick burst followed by a crash. The good news is that these ingredients are neither difficult to find nor expensive. Throughout my years treating men from every walk of life, I've seen this firsthand. I've worked with retired military veterans, business owners, teachers, mechanics, engineers, farmers, and men who spent decades doing physically demanding work. Many arrive believing that getting older automatically meant accepting lower energy and declining performance. Some thought medication was their only remaining option, but time and again, meaningful improvements began with surprisingly simple lifestyle adjustments. In many cases, the biggest changes didn't start with a prescription. They started with everyday habits that supported the body's natural ability to function well. One of the easiest places to begin is something most of us already enjoy every morning: coffee. Unfortunately, Many people either drink it completely plain or load it with sugar and flavored creamers, without realizing they're missing an opportunity to make that same cup far more beneficial. When you combine coffee with carefully selected ingredients, it becomes more than just a morning beverage. It becomes an easy way to provide your body with nutrients that support healthy circulation, energy production, and overall men's wellness. Timing matters too. Consuming these ingredients first thing in the morning allows your body to begin using them during the hours when your metabolism is becoming active. That means you're supporting circulation and energy production throughout the rest of the day, rather than waiting until fatigue has already set in. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 5 simple additions that can completely change the way your morning coffee works for you. More importantly, I'll explain why each ingredient matters, what it actually does inside your body, and how those biological effects can translate into noticeable improvements in everyday life. Let's begin with the first ingredient. It's something many people already have sitting in their kitchen without realizing how beneficial it can be. That ingredient is cinnamon. Now, let's take a closer look at our first ingredient, cinnamon. Most people think of cinnamon as nothing more than a spice that gives coffee a warm aroma or adds flavor to desserts. But from a men's health perspective, it offers far more than that. When used consistently as part of a balanced lifestyle, cinnamon can become one of the simplest ways to help support healthy circulation, maintain steady energy, and protect the blood vessels that play such an important role in overall vitality. Before you start adding it to your coffee every morning, there's one detail that's worth knowing. Not all cinnamon is exactly the same. For regular daily use, I generally recommend Ceylon cinnamon, often called true cinnamon. Compared to the more common cassia variety, Ceylon contains significantly lower levels of a naturally occurring compound called coumarin. That makes it a more suitable option if you're planning to enjoy cinnamon as part of your routine over the long term. It may seem like a small distinction, but little choices like this often matter when you're building habits that you intend to maintain for years, rather than just a few weeks. So, why am I recommending cinnamon to men over 50? One of its most valuable qualities is the way it helps support healthier blood sugar regulation. After eating, blood sugar naturally rises. That's perfectly normal. The problem begins when those rises become excessive and are followed by sharp drops throughout the day. Repeated swings in blood sugar place unnecessary stress on your body and over time can affect the health of your blood vessels. You may be wondering what that has to do with men's performance. The connection is actually stronger than many people realize. The smallest blood vessels in the body are usually the first to show signs of damage from poor circulation and unhealthy metabolic changes. The arteries responsible for supplying blood to the penis are incredibly small, much smaller than many of the arteries that supply other organs. Because they're so narrow, even minor reductions in blood flow can become noticeable long before circulation problems appear elsewhere. When those vessels lose their flexibility, blood can't move as efficiently as it should. And without healthy circulation, maintaining reliable erectile function naturally becomes much more difficult. This is where cinnamon becomes especially interesting. It contains natural plant compounds known as polyphenols, which have been studied for their ability to support healthy blood vessel function while helping the body respond more effectively to insulin. No, cinnamon isn't a miracle cure, and it doesn't create dramatic overnight changes. Instead, it works gradually by helping your body perform the way it was designed to perform in the first place. That's exactly the type of steady support many men need as they move through their 50s, 60s, and beyond. One thing I've noticed throughout my career is that improvements in circulation often affect much more than physical performance. They also change how men feel emotionally. When your body begins responding more consistently, You stop carrying around the constant worry that things may not work when you need them to. That quiet anxiety begins to fade. Confidence slowly returns. Instead of focusing on what might go wrong, you're able to be more present with your partner and enjoy the moment. Ironically, that reduction in stress often helps even further. Stress itself can interfere with circulation and sexual performance, so improving one area frequently creates positive effects in another. The body rarely works in isolation. When one system becomes healthier, many others benefit alongside it. Adding cinnamon to your coffee couldn't be simpler. I usually suggest starting with about 1/4 teaspoon stirred into your morning cup. It's a small amount, but consistency matters much more than quantity. Many men tell me that after making this simple change, they notice something unexpected. Instead of experiencing a burst of energy followed by an early afternoon crash, they feel more balanced throughout the morning. Others say they become less dependent on additional cups of coffee because their energy remains steadier. Some even notice fewer caffeine jitters, making their morning coffee feel smoother and easier on the body. I remember one patient in particular. He was 58 years old and had spent decades working in construction. His job required long hours, physical strength, and constant concentration. By lunchtime, he was exhausted. Most afternoons, he needed another large coffee simply to get through the rest of the workday. After we discussed several straightforward lifestyle adjustments, including adding Ceylon cinnamon to his morning coffee, he came back several weeks later with an observation that surprised him. He wasn't reaching for that second or third cup anymore. His energy no longer disappeared halfway through the afternoon. Instead, he felt more consistent from morning until evening. He was still working just as hard, but he no longer felt completely drained before the day was over. Was cinnamon the only reason? Of course not. It was part of a broader routine that included better nutrition, more movement, improved sleep habits, and healthier daily choices. But it served as one small habit that helped reinforce all of those positive changes. That's something I often remind my patients. Real improvements rarely come from one dramatic change. They're usually the result of many small decisions repeated consistently over time. Now let's move on to the second ingredient. If supporting healthy blood flow is one of your goals, this may be one of the most impressive additions you can make to your morning coffee. I'm talking about unsweetened cocoa powder. Now let's talk about the second ingredient I recommend adding to your morning coffee: unsweetened cocoa powder. And I want to emphasize one important word here: unsweetened. I'm not referring to the sugary cocoa mixes used for hot chocolate. Those products are often loaded with added sugars that can work against the very health goals we're trying to achieve. Instead, I'm talking about pure, unsweetened, dark cocoa powder. So, what makes it so valuable? The answer lies in a group of naturally occurring plant compounds called flavonols. Among these, one of the most studied is epicatechin, which has gained attention for its ability to support the body's production of nitric oxide. If you've watched some of my previous videos, you've probably heard me mention nitric oxide before. It's an incredibly important molecule that signals your blood vessels to relax and widen, allowing blood to circulate more efficiently throughout the body. Unfortunately, as men get older, the body's ability to produce nitric oxide naturally begins to decline. That gradual reduction is one reason circulation often isn't as efficient in our 50s, 60s, and 70s as it was when we were younger. Rather than forcing the body into a temporary response, cocoa works by supporting one of the body's own natural pathways. You're helping your body create the conditions it needs for healthier blood vessel function instead of simply masking the symptoms. And that's a major difference. When blood vessels remain flexible and responsive, circulation improves throughout your entire cardiovascular system, not just in one specific area. Of course, that includes the tissues involved in sexual function. Better circulation can contribute to firmer, more dependable erections over time, but it also benefits your heart, brain, muscles, and every other organ that depends on healthy blood flow. That's why I always remind my patients that erectile function is often a reflection of overall vascular health. Healthy blood vessels benefit your entire body. Many men notice another unexpected improvement. As circulation becomes more efficient, they often describe feeling mentally sharper during the day. They tell me they have better focus while working, feel more alert in conversations, and simply have more motivation to stay active. That's not surprising. Your brain relies on healthy circulation just as much as every other organ. When your cardiovascular system functions well, your mind often benefits too. Adding cocoa to your coffee couldn't be easier. Simply stir 1 level teaspoon of unsweetened cocoa powder into your morning cup. It creates a rich flavor that's surprisingly similar to a cafe-style mocha, but without the excessive sugar found in many commercial coffee drinks. For many men, it actually makes their coffee taste even better. There's another benefit that doesn't receive nearly enough attention. Pure cocoa naturally contains compounds that may help support a positive mood, including substances related to phenylethylamine and naturally occurring compounds that interact with the body's endocannabinoid system. While these aren't magic mood boosters, they may contribute to an overall sense of well-being when enjoyed regularly as part of a balanced diet. And that matters more than many people realize. When you wake up feeling energized, mentally focused, and emotionally balanced, you're far more likely to stay active, exercise consistently, spend quality time with your family, and make healthier decisions throughout the rest of the day. Health is rarely just physical. Your energy, mood, confidence, and motivation all influence one another. When one improves, the others often begin to follow. Now let's move on to our third ingredient, one that's been valued for centuries and continues to attract scientific interest today. I'm talking about maca root powder. Maca grows high in the Andes Mountains of Peru, where it has traditionally been used as a nutritional food to support stamina, endurance, and overall vitality. You've probably heard people call it nature's Viagra. Personally, I don't think that's an accurate description. That nickname gives people the wrong impression. Unlike prescription medications, maca doesn't work by creating an immediate increase in blood flow. Instead, it appears to support the body's natural systems involved in energy production, hormonal balance, and physical resilience. Those are two very different mechanisms. Rather than forcing a temporary effect, maca helps nourish the processes that contribute to long-term wellness. That's one reason so many men appreciate it. Maca contains a wide range of naturally occurring nutrients, including amino acids, magnesium, potassium, zinc, and several unique plant compounds that researchers continue to study for their potential role in supporting male health. Its purpose isn't to overwhelm your system. It's to help your body function more efficiently over time. Because of that, patience is important. This isn't something you'll notice within a few hours. Instead, most men gradually begin recognizing subtle improvements after using it consistently for several weeks. Many of my patients describe the experience in almost the same way. They don't necessarily feel dramatically different overnight. Instead, they simply begin feeling more like themselves again. They wake up with a little more motivation. Their workouts become easier. They recover more quickly after physical activity. Their mental focus improves. They feel more engaged in everyday life. And perhaps most importantly, they regain the desire to stay active, rather than feeling exhausted before the day has really begun. That renewed sense of vitality can have a ripple effect throughout every aspect of life. When you have more energy, you naturally become more productive. You spend more quality time with your family. You enjoy hobbies again. You exercise more consistently. You begin rebuilding confidence, not because of one miracle ingredient, but because your body is receiving better overall support. To add maca to your routine, simply mix 1 teaspoon into your morning coffee 3 or 4 times each week. Unlike caffeine, which works within minutes, maca rewards consistency. Most men begin noticing meaningful changes after 2 to 3 weeks of regular use. Give your body time to respond naturally. Its flavor is mild with a slightly nutty, earthy taste that blends surprisingly well with coffee. If you decide to purchase maca, you'll probably notice that it comes in several varieties. Yellow maca is generally the most balanced option and an excellent choice for overall wellness. Red maca is often selected by men interested in supporting long-term prostate health. Black maca is commonly preferred by those looking to maximize physical stamina, athletic performance, and energy levels. Whichever variety you choose, remember this: consistency will always produce better results than expecting instant changes. Now, let's move on to the 4th ingredient, one that surprises almost everyone the first time they hear about it: coconut oil. Now let's move on to our 4th ingredient, one that often raises a few eyebrows the first time I mention it: coconut oil. At first, the idea of adding oil to your morning coffee may sound unusual. In fact, many of my patients are skeptical until they understand why it can actually make sense from a nutritional standpoint. Once you know what's happening inside your body, this simple addition becomes much easier to appreciate. One of the reasons coconut oil is so interesting is because healthy fats play an essential role in hormone production. Your body depends on dietary fats to manufacture many important hormones, including testosterone. Without adequate healthy fats, your body simply doesn't have the raw materials it needs to produce hormones efficiently. Coconut oil contains a type of fat known as medium-chain triglycerides, or MCTs. Unlike many other fats we eat, MCTs are absorbed quickly and transported directly to the liver, where they can be converted into usable energy instead of being stored as body fat. That means your body receives a more stable fuel source throughout the morning. Instead of relying entirely on caffeine to keep you alert, you're giving your metabolism another efficient energy source to work with. By supplying your body with healthy fats, you're also supporting the natural production of hormones that influence muscle maintenance, metabolism, recovery, mood, and sexual health. No single food can dramatically increase testosterone overnight. Anyone promising that simply isn't being honest. But providing your body with the nutrients it needs to maintain normal hormone production is a very different story. Good nutrition gives your body the tools it needs to function properly. When hormone balance, energy production, and metabolism all receive consistent nutritional support, many men simply begin feeling healthier overall. And that's often where confidence starts to return. I've seen this countless times in my practice. When fatigue begins to disappear, men naturally become more engaged with life. They approach work with greater concentration. They participate more actively with their families. They feel motivated to exercise again. Instead of merely trying to get through each day, they begin looking forward to it. That kind of change isn't just physical, it's emotional as well. When you feel stronger, you carry yourself differently. Your confidence improves. You become more optimistic about your health because you're finally seeing progress instead of decline. Adding coconut oil to your coffee is very straightforward. Start with 1 teaspoon blended into your morning cup. Using a small blender, handheld frother, or even a shaker bottle creates a creamy texture that's remarkably similar to a specialty coffee drink. If you've never tried it before, I recommend beginning with a smaller amount. Your digestive system may need a little time to adjust to the additional healthy fats. Starting slowly allows your body to adapt comfortably and helps avoid unnecessary stomach discomfort. Remember, our goal isn't to make dramatic changes overnight. We're building habits that you can comfortably maintain for years. Now let's move on to the fifth and final ingredient. This one has been used in traditional nutrition for centuries across many different cultures. I'm talking about ginger. Whether you prefer fresh ginger root or powdered ginger, both can become excellent additions to your morning routine. What makes ginger particularly impressive is that it supports several important aspects of health at the same time. It isn't simply a spice that adds flavor. Its naturally occurring compounds have been widely studied for their ability to support healthy circulation, encourage normal blood vessel function, and help the body manage inflammation. Two of ginger's most important active compounds are called gingerols and shogaols. These plant compounds appear to encourage blood vessels to relax, allowing blood to circulate more efficiently throughout the body. When circulation improves, oxygen and nutrients can reach your muscles, organs, and tissues more effectively. That includes the areas responsible for healthy male sexual function. Healthy circulation is one of the foundations of healthy erectile performance. But ginger offers benefits beyond blood flow. As we age, chronic low-grade inflammation tends to become more common. Although inflammation is a normal part of the body's healing process, persistent inflammation over many years can interfere with healthy cardiovascular function and overall wellness. Supporting the body's natural inflammatory balance helps create a healthier internal environment for long-term health. Several studies have also explored ginger's potential role in supporting healthy testosterone levels as well as male reproductive health. While more research continues, the findings so far are encouraging. Again, this doesn't mean ginger is a miracle treatment. No single ingredient can completely transform your health. But consistently providing your body with nutrients that support its normal biological functions can produce meaningful improvements over time. One thing I frequently hear from patients who adopt healthier daily habits is this: I finally feel like myself again. They have more energy to exercise. Their thinking feels clearer. Their stamina improves. They stop constantly worrying about whether their body will respond the way they want it to. Instead, they begin trusting their health again. That confidence affects every area of life. Adding ginger to your coffee couldn't be much easier. If you're using fresh ginger, simply slice a thin piece and allow it to steep in your hot coffee for several minutes. If powdered ginger is more convenient, use approximately 1/4 teaspoon. Fresh ginger offers a bright, refreshing flavor thanks to its natural aromatic oils, while powdered ginger provides a concentrated option that's easy to use every morning. Either choice works well. The most important factor isn't which form you choose, it's making the habit consistent. Now, before you get excited and start adding all 5 ingredients to your coffee tomorrow morning, let me share one important piece of advice. More is not always better. Trying every ingredient at once may overwhelm your digestive system and make it difficult to know how your body responds to each one individually. Your body usually adapts much better when changes are introduced gradually. The goal isn't to build the most complicated morning routine. The goal is to create a simple routine that becomes so easy you continue doing it for years without even thinking about it. Now, before you head to the kitchen and start mixing all 5 ingredients into your coffee tomorrow morning, I'd like to offer one important recommendation. Adding everything at once might sound like the fastest approach, but it isn't necessarily the smartest one. Introducing several new ingredients on the same day can be hard on your digestive system, and it also makes it difficult to know which ingredients your body responds to best. In my practice, I've found that gradual changes almost always produce better long-term success. Your body appreciates consistency far more than dramatic overhauls. I'm Dr. Laura, and it's been a pleasure spending this time with you today. Thank you for watching.